focus falls on promoting and defending the human rights of persons with albinism. This as the brutal physical attacks against persons with albinism, especially women and children, continue and have now been reported in countries where it was believed not to have been an issue. New cases of violence show that much more needs to be done to help those who continue to suffer discrimination and live in fear of attack. Well, Nomosonto Mazibuko is the Executive Director of the Albinism Society of South Africa. She joins us on the desk now. Good afternoon, Nomosonto. Always a pleasure having you here at SABC News.
Good afternoon and good afternoon to the viewers.
Nomosonto, what is the status or the situation of people with albinism within a human rights context in South Africa right now? Are they enjoying the same rights as others?
Well, I wouldn't say we're enjoying the same rights, because you find that at school, children with albinism are still discriminated upon by educators, where you find South Africa is saying they believe in inclusion. But most of the children are sent to school of the blind and to special schools by educators. So I think our right educationally is violated, and health-wise, sunscreen in this country is still cosmetic. You find that you get a tube from the hospital which will not even last you 2 weeks. And then the social development is giving us dignity packs where we can use our sunscreens. We get our sunscreen on our plate. Most of our members with albinism die from skin cancer. And then socially, you cannot move freely, as we have seen on the insert, that people with albinism are hunted, are killed, especially during election time, where people in the borders will go for body parts. We're speaking of one case in South Africa of Thandazile Mpunzi, who was killed last year for her body parts. And we are going aggressively to say the safety. If we say we celebrate 21 years of freedom, are we really free as people with albinism? Because our movement must be monitored. You must tell somebody that I am here, I am still safe. And our personal friends and intimate friends still give away with us, because that is what happened to Thandazile.
Brutal attacks and kidnappings, the incidents in Malawi coming to mind, making headlines recently. You have serious concerns about the inadequacy of police investigations when it comes to such crimes. How crucial is it that perpetrators are dealt sentences in line with the severity of the crime?
It's very painful, because we cannot say that the death throw should come back, but we would like to see harsher sentences where people cannot come back, because once it is in your mind, history repeats itself. And we would like to say people must not get parole. After 5 years you get parole, you still join the very community. So we don't feel safe, and we're looking to say there should be legislation to say what happens first to a person who just mimics you or calls you derogative names. When you go to the police station, they say, after all, you've got albinism, what is your problem? So we need people, neighbors, communities, to get harsher sentences to say, you don't call people by their their condition.
People with albinism, like you've mentioned, having to bear severe stigmatization and discrimination. What would you say is the root of such discrimination, Nomosonto? Is it just purely superstitious belief? And how does that discrimination manifest in everyday life?
I think we lack education. People with albinism, that's the Albinism Society, to educate and do a lot of advocacy. People get away with member to say, we did not know, but there is this myth to say we don't die, we disappear. People take advantage of that, they are going to disappear. And even if you disappear, but what worries me most is that our family members are also involved. Nobody can come into my house and know exactly in which bedroom I sleep to come and hack me. And we are in partnership with the Commission for CRL, Commission for Culture, Religion and Linguistics, whereby we're saying to the traditional healers, to the traditional leaders, is it true that body parts of people with albinism do give luck? If it did give luck, I think people should be much richer today if that was true. But why should people go on doing a useless and nonsensical situation where they hack your hand and the poor women and children? Why are we always victims?
Nomosonto Mazibuko, the Executive Director of the Albinism Society of South Africa, thank you so much for your time on the SABC News.